يا رب زدني علما، 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 يا رب زدني علما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد الفاتح بما أغلق، الخاتم لما سبق، ناصر الحق بالحق، والهادي إلى صراطك المستقيم، وعلى آله حق قدره مقداره العظيم. يا رب زدني علما، 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 يا رب زدني علما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد الفاتح لما أغلق، الخاتم لما سبق، ناصر الحق بالحق، والهادي إلى صراطك المستقيم، وعلى آله حق قدره مقداره العظيم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم، بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، الرحمن الرحيم، مالك يوم الدين، إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين، اهدنا الصراط المستقيم، صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين، آمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. أنا الشيخ إبراهيم Fad, Sheikh Ibrahim Fad, here with another session of Diwaanu Salihin, broadcasting on YouTube as well as Facebook. I seek a refuge in Allah from Satan the accursed. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, most merciful. All praise and thanks be to Allah, Lord of all the worlds. Today we're going to be going into a discussion off of a book by Ibn Arabi entitled What the Seeker Needs. If you don't know who Ibn Arabi is, definitely you want to look up Ibn Arabi. Ibn Arabi is actually referred to as Sheikh al-Akbar, or the greatest guide. In Islam, a sheikh is a guide, a spiritual guide, as well as in villages, a sheikh is the oldest one, or the one who would be referred to as the leader, that people will go for counsel and no decisions is made without him. Well, Ibn Arabi is considered Sheikh al-Akbar. He was considered a person who, when it comes to spiritual teachings, he's a leader. So definitely look up Ibn al-Arabi. He's a very great brother coming out of Moorish Spain. He has many different books. So, you get a chance, look him up. This book is The Divine Governance of the Human Kingdom. But it's translated by Tosun Bayarek. But you can definitely, within this book right here, is two different books. So you had The Divine Governance of the Human Kingdom, which is a great treaty. But the other half of it is What the Seeker Needs. So, check that up. You could probably even get the PDF for free. That's the thing now with Google. You could just Google what the secret needs, Ibn Arabi. The deck that I was doing, the invocation, um, Ya Rabbi Zidni Ilma, O Rab, or O my Lord, Zidni Ilma, grant me knowledge. And doing this affirmation of this invocation, Ya Rabbi Zidni Ilma, when you do this, Ya Rabbi Zidni Ilma, that invocation, that's a way to invoke light. See, energy flows where your attention goes. So if you to do this in a certain amount of numbers, because within the essence, the number in the Abjada, there's a numerical calculation to the Arabic alphabet. And the essence of your invocation is within that numerical calculation. If you consider that words come from letters, but these letters, bil Arabi or in Arabic, they come through different worlds. They're coming from the Lawh al-Mahfuz, or the preserved tablet. Now, you have Al-Quran Kareem, which is a revelation that came through the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and on the highest level, because you have the cosmological level of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which is the grand man, or the grand intellect, which we always refer to as Nurullahi, which is the light of Allah. But then you have the different worlds that these letters will come down from, the Lawh al-Mahfuz. Wa alaikum salam rahmatullahi ta'ala barakatuhu, ya Ahmadu Bamba. So you have these letters go through different worlds. So you have the worlds like this world we in right here is Mook, the dominion, is referred to as the dominion. You can even look up Suratul Mulk in the Quran, M-U-L-K, you would spell it in English, Suratul Mulk, and it speaks about the dominion. This is the world of the plane made manifest. But above the Mulk, you have the Malakut, which is the realm of the angels, or to put it more scientific, the realm of the forces. Above that, you have the Jabarut, which is the realm of Kun Fayakun. Allah say be and it is. Also, where you have in, if you were referred to the Injil, it would say in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So the realm of Jabarut is the realm of compulsion. Above the realm of Jabarut, you have other stratum. Right? So these letters are coming from this realm, and they all have a mathematical computation referred to as the abjada, or the numerical value of the Arabic alphabet. So within that, you are able to extract the essence of it, and from that comes tarbiyah, which is the education of the soul and the practices that deal with tazkiyah to nafs, or the purification of the realms of consciousness that you have. Peace, our son. So the zikr, or the invocation, Ya Rabbi Zidni Ilma. Now, in Arabic, you have there's always a attention getting particle. That's Ya. So you wouldn't just say, if you were calling someone name in Arabic, like I see Talibé, good brother Ahmadu Bamba's on here. If I was going to call him in Arabic and I was speaking Arabic, I wouldn't just say his name Ahmadu Bamba. I would say, yeah, Ahmadu Bamba. Yeah, is attention getting particle. It's just like in English, we'd be like, yo, Ahmadu Bamba. You say, yo, everybody gonna look, but a person specifically, when you call their name, they're gonna look. So in Arabic, when you do invocations and you say, yeah, you're actually calling on attention. You see? So when you say, Ya Rabbi Zidni Ilma, oh my Lord, Zidni Ilma, you're calling on the Rab. And the Rab You know, in English, we like easily. I've seen different Al-Qur'ans and Al-Quran, different Qurans, and you have you have the translation of Rab to Lord, but Lord is not it's not really a sufficient translation of the Arabic word Rab, and one of the reasons is because for one word in Arabic, you need 4 to 5 to several words in English to translate it. So this is where it's lacking. You could say that, you know, in the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "He who knows himself knows his Lord." You see, and now you consider there's several selves as far as the Nafs is concerned, and the Nafs are it's the self, but it's individualized consciousness, and you have several Nafs. You have Nafsi Amara, the inciting self, Nafsi Lawama, the self-accusing self, Nafsi Muhima, the inspired self, Nafsi Mutmaina, the peaceful self, Nafsi Radiya, the pleased self, Nafsi Mardiya, the pleasing self, Nafsi Sophia, which usually they say Nafsi Kamal too, which is the pure self, the highest level of the soul. So these are 7 levels of the soul. So in just saying he who knows himself knows his Lord, you have different aspects of the self, right? So if you stuck in the aspect of the self where, say, for instance, Nafsi and Mara Besui, or the evil inciting self or the commanding self, which is many people, they just say the lower self, right? If you say you a dope fiend, right? And you strung out on dope. He who knows himself knows his Lord. If you only know that, you know, the dope addiction, then that's your Lord. So you can't say that you really know anything higher than that. So it's very intricate and dealing with it. And your Rab is it's about, like, according to the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, is 76 trillion cells. And the universe is 76 quintillion miles in diameter. So when you according to different scientists, they would say 50 trillion cells. But if you want to think about what the Rab is, it's those 50 trillion cells acting in unison, because your cells are constantly eavesdropping on you. So he who knows himself knows his Lord, you know, if you want to consider that. So when you say Ya Rabbi Zidni Ilma, you want, it's a way to invoke light, is a way to invoke knowledge from your different the stratums of your consciousness, because you have interpersonal consciousness, intrapersonal consciousness, subconsciousness, consciousness, super consciousness, magnetic consciousness, and infinite consciousness. So when you invoke Ya Rabbi Zidni Ilma, oh my Lord, grant me knowledge, it's a way for you to, if you meditate on it, tafakkur, to meditate or reflect on it over a process of time, then inshallah ta'ala, you know, knowledge will be illuminated. You know, it's just a process, and called tarbiyah. If your eye is singular, your whole body be filled with light. So, you know, if anyone is interested in, you know, different tarbiyah, you can just inbox me, and, you know, we'll have a discussion. So anyway, that was a side rant. Anyway, moving right along, we're going to before I start getting into this here, what the seeker needs, again, I'll show you the book, so you can always pause. That's the benefit. You can pause the video later if you look at the video, and take the book down and check it out. You know, man knows not by being told. It's a lot of things out in this book. I can read this book and extract things from it, but you can read the same exact book and get things that I've never even seen in the book. So this is the beauty of knowledge. And knowledge comes from not only looking and listening and observing, but knowledge comes from intimate moments of meditation. So you want to do that. I'm gonna start with a qasida first. Um, Shout out to Sheikh Sufi. He ain't gonna see this, but he loved this qasida right here. He always read this one, even after somebody take bay'at with him. He always quotes this qasida from memory, called Ya Rahmanu Ya Rahimu, O merciful, O most gracious. This is by Sheikh Ahmadu Bamba. So I'm gonna read this qasida, start off this way, and then I'll jump into that with some commentary, right? And inshallah, share this video. You can share it now. Just share the video, because knowledge is better when you share it. And check out the YouTube channel. We broadcasting simultaneously right now, but check out the YouTube channel and share that. Subscribe to it if you feel like it's beneficial, right? أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله على سيدنا ومولانا محمد وآله وصحبه وسلم وبارك صلاة وسلاما وبركة ينشر بها بركة الرحمن على أحبائه وأعدائه ينشر بها بركة الرحيم وعلى جميع أحبائه وقبل هذه الأبيات مني بقدر أعظمه ذاته آمين يا رحمن يا رحيم. ربي بما يسره أسخان قد فجا بجاه أفتلي من الله قد لجا. ربي بما يسره إسخان قد فجا بجاه أفتلي من لله قد لجا. حمدي لرب كريم لا شريك له وصدر اليوم نورا ساتعا ملا. محمد صلوات الله في أبد عليه في حزبه كلي به كلا. أدعو الله الذي أمات مواهبه لجملة الخلقية يختر من برا. ناجيته جلاء ومن وكرمني تكريما هاد وكل من لغيا براها. رحمن هب لي جميع الخلق رحمة من يغني عن شر من قرآنه قراها. ختمة المصطفى عن كل مفسدة والترحم الخلقية من جدهم بدأ. يا مالك الملك يا من جل عن قواد ارحم جميع الورى يا هادي أمردا. محوت ما قد نقى خلق قلبي من درر بجاه أفضل من لله قد لجا. سبحان ربك رب العزة أما يصرفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Yes, brother, I'll send it to you, inshallah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. From What the Seeker Needs by Ibn al-Arabi, with some commentary as well. Do not spend your life in empty endeavors and your time in idle talk. This is how he's starting this off. And this is a very important part of just adab or etiquette. Not spending your life in empty endeavors and your time in idle talk. The elders would say to us that an idle mind is the devil's workshop. And when you have idle endeavors. You just doing things, and I see this. I've done this a lot growing up and throughout life, even in my grown years. And I've observed people's lives over decades of time of idle endeavors, and more so than just idle talk. But idle talk is definitely a waste of mind and a waste of your heart energy. But idle endeavors to do something and it has no benefit to you, no benefit for others, is just a waste. And there's a surah in the Quran that speaks on this. Surah 103, chapter 103, Shoutouts, or Time Through the Ages. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. By the time, verily man is in loss, except those who believe and do righteous deeds and encourage one another to the truth and encourage one another to patience and constancy. So instead, again, the Sheikh says, do not spend your life in empty endeavors and your time in idle talk. Instead, reflect and remember Allah, which he's saying in Arabic will be zikrullah. So zikrullah is to do affirmations or invocations based on formulas out of Al-Quran Kareem, or based on formulas of Al-Asma al-Husna, the greatest names of Allah. So he says, instead, spend your time in reflection and meditation. And this could be done walking, sitting, standing, riding, right? Instead, reflect and remember Allah. Read Al-Quran. Guide the misguided to the enlightened path. And this is very important. This is equality, a supreme equality. When you guide the misguided to the righteous path. And this can be done with a simple, listening to someone and giving them, simple advice. This can be done through, my favorite way is just through civilization. There's a degree, the 18th degree in the 140, it says, what is the duty of a civilized person? The duty of a civilized person is to teach the uncivilized people civilization, righteousness, the knowledge of himself, and the science of everything in life, including love, peace, and happiness. 1934, right? The most honorable Elijah Muhammad was asked this question, and by Master Farad Muhammad, he answered it in this way. But the first thing that he stated in reference to the duty of a civilized person was civilization. So when a person sees you, the first thing that they see is your civilization. So you can guide misguided people just by them watching your civilization. Because how many people who have grown up watching people on TV and got the influence just by watching them? So that's very, very important. He says, help others leave evil and turn to doing good. Mend broken friendships. Help others to help others. And it's a sunnah to mend broken friendships, which means that it is an example of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that if you have a broken friendship, to mend it. And this is not so much as to go back wholeheartedly into the friendship or talk to this person every day, but just if you have something broken, just mend it. You don't necessarily have to, because sometimes people get hurt to a degree where they cannot really take the relationship up as it was before, but at least mend it. Find the right friend who will be a support for you, a good traveling companion on the path of truth. And that's very important, to find the right friend, because we have in being Moorids or spiritual aspirants in all walks of life, sometimes you may have the right goal, but then you come around the wrong person or the wrong crowd, thinking that they have the same goal in mind, and they'll lead you astray. And this happens in all walks of life. That's why it's so important to find the right friend who will be a support for you. And that's important too, because you can have a good idea and mention it to someone. And then when you mention it, because that person has failed many times, they'll dissuade you. Or because that person may not have any ambitions and not doing anything for themselves, when you present your idea to do something for yourself, they'll lead you astray and tell you it's not going to work. So it's very important to find the right friend who will be a support to you and a good traveling companion on the path of truth. Faith is a seed. It grows into a tree with the beneficent watering and sunshine of faithful friends. So good friends, they water your faith or that seed of faith that you have. Beware of being close to those who do not discriminate between faithful and unfaithful. And not knowing either faith or the faithful, they do not care about them. They are either strangers to or enemies of the truth in which you believe. So, you have to be aware of these people, and it's natural to have somebody that is a stranger to the truth the reality that you experience every day. Look for a perfect teacher who will lead you on the straight path. And this is when it comes to seeking out a sheikh. And I can't say that, people are perfect how they are. So don't let the word perfect give you an idea, other than what it really is. Look for a perfect teacher who will lead you on a straight path. In your search for a guide, be sincere, because sincerity distinguishes the true seeker. And this is very important. Sincerity distinguishes the true seeker. There are many people who seek truth, and when you're given a path, right, or practice, you don't even do it. Or you do it for a little bit and then you drop it. There's no consistency. And this is what Shoutouts was speaking about. By the time verily man is in loss, except those who believe and do good deeds, and encourage one another to the truth, and encourage one another to patience and constancy. See, patience and constancy go hand in hand. As you been doing things consistently, you have to be constant with that. You see, it's just like using the tool, the hammer, using the hammer to hammer in the truth until it becomes a part of every other part. It takes consistency. It is certain that if you cling to sincerity and truthfulness, the Lord will manifest his attributes of the ultimate guide upon you and will guide you to the perfect teacher. So he's saying that Allah will dress you from the name Al-Hadi. Al-Hadi is the guide. So you will actually, the qualities and characteristics will be stimulated within you, and that will attract someone towards you, some person, something to guide you. So he's saying that it is certain that if you cling to sincerity and truthfulness, the Lord will manifest his attribute of the ultimate guide upon you and will guide you to a perfect teacher. Sincerity in the seeker is such a blessing that when it is present, Allah will even turn the accused devil himself and the seeker's personal devil, his ego, into angels of inspiration serving him. See, this is very important, especially when it comes to the nafs or your basic drives, because naturally your nafs or your basic drives, and just to run through the 7 again, the 7 of them is the 7 levels of the soul and tasawwuf, or which is mentioned in the esoteric aspect of Islam, which people refer to as Sufism. The 7 levels of the soul is you have, now it's referred to generally as nafs, individualized consciousness, nafsi amara, the inciting self, nafsi lawama, the accusing self or the soul that blames, nafsi mulhima, the inspired self, nafsi mutmaina, the peaceful self, nafsi radiya, the pleased self, nafsi maradiya, the pleasing self, and nafsi kamal to a nafsi sophia, which is the perfected or the pure self. So as I often talk about nafsi and martyr. which is the commanding self or the inciting self. And in many videos, I spoke about that, how that's the enteric nervous system. Now you have the central nervous system, which is the brain and the spinal cord. Then you have the enteric nervous system, which is located in the intestines. Within the enteric nervous system, there's 100 million neurons or brain cells. Within the central nervous system in the brain, you have 100 billion neurons. Now, you also have neurons within the heart. So most of the time, and most people who are unaware, especially in a state of mental death, then they're governed mostly by their lower centers. Now, when you deal with the chakra system in the first three centers, which is the root chakra, the sacral chakra, and the solar plexus chakra, within glands, because the chakras is only the energy reference to a physical gland. So where you had the root chakra, this was represented by Adam and Eve. This is why when you look at the story, they covered their private parts. But the root chakra is dealing with, in a man, the penis or the gonads, and within a woman, the vagina, and any impulses that come from that region. This is why the root chakra always deal with base and material. And that's why in all mythology, in all religion, the devil always is represented with the color red, because the root chakra is red. And red is the first color of the rainbow, because red always represents the base. This represents the root. Even when a star is further away, it's red. You see? So this is when you consider the root chakra materialism, and all of the base drives is coming from down here. Now you also have the sacral plexus, which is the sacral chakra. This will be the pancreas in the man. And this element is water. It was represented by Noah in the Bible, or Nuhin in the Quran, in the flood. And this is dealing with your emotions. So this is the center that governs all your emotions, you see. And then you have the solar plexus chakra, which is, its color is yellow, and is represented by Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, or is represented by Abraham from the city of Ur, or the land of fire. And this is dealing with the gland, the kidneys that sit, the adrenals that sit on top of the kidneys. So you notice when you get that fight or flight response, you have adrenaline being secreted. So this is the three lower worlds, and generally people coming from those areas. You see, generally most people are coming from those centers. And he makes a very important point. He says that sincerity in the seeker is such a blessing that when it is present, Allah will even turn the accursed devil himself and the seeker's personal devil, his ego, into angels of inspiration. So now, first of all, shaitan, a'udhu billah, is the carnal heart, and your personal devil is your ego. It says in the Quran that for he who forgets Ar-Rahman, we appoint for him a Qur'an, or a devil to be his companion. So whenever you lose consciousness of your higher nature, you have a companion, a personal devil appointed to you. Now this is your ego, or this is your nafs, and this could be one of four things. There's four enemies to man. You have shaitan, which is the carnal heart; Hawa, which is your profane passions and desires; the dunya, which is gross materialism, the world; and then you have the nafs, which is your basic drives. So whenever you forget Ar-Rahman, or the most merciful, whenever you forget yourself, you're not in a state of conscious awareness, then one of these things will be a companion. So when here he's talking about that sincerity in the seeker is such a blessing that when it is present, Allah will turn the accused devil himself and the seeker's personal devil, his ego, into angels of inspiration serving him. So this is very important, and this is where transformation takes place, because whereas Nafsi and Mara, Besui, or the evil inciting self, The enteric nervous system will work against you, dealing with cravings, desire. When you have sincerity, and you actually, this is talking about transmuting base levels into gold, because the base metal is lead, and this is represented by the root chakra. And it being turned to gold is raising your consciousness from that root chakra, or from materialism, to the crown chakra, the Sahasrara, the thousand petaled lotus, the lot tree, or the Bodhi tree. When you have awareness and reach enlightenment, this is the caduceus. When you look at the staff and these two serpents coiled around the staff, you have a bulb and the wings spread out. That staff is the spinal cord. And those two things, the Ida and the Pingala, which are the electric and magnetic within the body, which is the serpentine energy, reaching enlightenment, the pineal gland, and you become illuminated, and you have the wings spread out, which is the synchronicity between the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere, the brain working as one. And when this is referred to in the Bible, when it says, if your eye be singular, your whole body will be filled with light. So this state of awareness is achieved through not only meditation, application of principles, but when you start to work on it, then your personal devil, your ego, and shaitan, your cardinal heart, they actually become inspirations to you, inspirations serving you. So whereas you might have acted on an impulse towards something profane before, now it inspires you to rise, not only rise above that, because you would have already have ascended that level, but it will be inspiration to you. So instead of something carnal could present itself, and within that you will see the exalted level of it. Something profane can present itself, within that you'll see the exalted level. Peace, Unique. So this is very important. It's a very, very important part right there. Very, very important point right there. Again, sincerity in the seeker is such a blessing that when it is present, Allah will even turn the accused devil himself and the seeker's personal devil, his ego, into angels of inspiration serving him. Sincerity is such a catalyst that it turns lead into gold and purifies everything it touches. A matter of the greatest importance. One of your greatest needs is to be sure that the morsel of bread you put in your mouth is lawful. Lawful sustenance, the lawfulness of all you enjoy in this world, is the foundation of your faith. And this is important too, because you are what you eat, and it's eating the wrong foods that made us other than our own selves. So, and this is mental as well as physical. So when the Shach is saying that be sure that the morsel of bread you put in your mouth is lawful, he's basically saying it's halal, it's not haram. Well, this is very important, and this definitely is a point, because when you consider the enteric nervous system in your intestines, what goes into your intestines, would you break it down things from a solid to a liquid, and then it becomes a gas. You putting food in your mouth, you digest it, it becomes in your bloodstream, and then the gaseous state is when it actually becomes a part of your thought. And as the Father has said, that thoughts of the mind affect the body. So as well as this is referred to in the Bible, as it is in heaven, it is on earth, meaning as the thing is in your mind, it is in your body. So everything is energy. So if you take in base things, then you're going to have a base reaction. This is simple, very simple. You only going to get out of what you put in. So that's why he said to be very, be sure that the morsel of bread you put in your mouth is lawful. And he's saying that that's the cornerstone of your faith. That's basically the foundation, you see. And that's a very important point, because that it just has so many implications that I'm not, like you can just take that everywhere. He says, to advance in this path, in the footsteps of the prophets, peace be upon them, you have to be light. Light in worldly goods, light in your concerns about the world. An unmistakable sign of the heaviness that will prevent you from advancing is to be a burden on people. That's very important. To advance in this path, you have to be light. A lot of times people block off their barakah or their blessings. They block off light because, for one thing, their heart becomes very heavy, get weighed down with the concerns of the world, as well as people become hoarders. And we hoard in different ways. Some people hoard material, clothes, they hoard stuff like that. But other people hoard thoughts. And you just keep everything, like you may get into a series of relationships, and everything that you experience in the relationship prior, you bring into the next relationship. It's hoarding. So now you begin to look at this person according to the wrongs that was done to you by the previous person. And the person is not even doing that. So this is a hoarding. So it's very important not to begin, not to hoard things. And there's many passages in the Quran that speaks about this. Speaks about you trying to hold on to your possessions as if it's going to bring you, some type of gain in the hereafter. And when I say al-akhirati, the hereafter, I'm talking about here and after this moment. You see, in the very near future. So you got to be very cautious of hoarding anything. So as Ibn al-Arabi is saying, that to advance in this path, really to get forward, to get further in the footsteps of all of the prophets, peace be upon them, you have to be light in worldly goods, light in your concerns about the world. There are people who literally think themselves into depression. Depression. Energy flows where your where your attention goes. So when you're constantly beating yourself up over something, you're not learning from it. You're not doing the knowledge. Knowledge is an examination. It's a self-evaluation. You analyze it in order for you to know something. You just look at the word K-N-O-W, and then you have L. L come from listening, come from looking, come from learning. So, and that gives you the edge. Therefore, you have knowledge. You see, you got to know the ledge or you'll fall off the edge. So if you're looking back in your life and your past and you're not learning from your experiences, then that energy is you're not using it in a beneficial way for your own self. Hence, you become depressed. You look in your past and you just think of these different things and you just start feeling down. You stop doing the things, you stop socializing like you used to do. You stop enjoying the things that you used to do. You become withdrawn. And then everything starts to you stay in dim places. The room you in is always dim. You start being stagnant. You see? So this is you have to be light and in your concerns about the world. Be very light in your concerns about the world. Quran 91, celestial bodies on Ibn Arabi, imagination and the creation of the universe. Thank you. So that's very important to be light about this world. Matter of fact, Sheikh Ahmadu Bamba and other different sheikhs, Sheikh Abdul Qadir, they were speaking about being stoic, having a stoic attitude about the world. And one of the books in Sheikh Abdul Qadir, it was either in Futuh al-Ghaib, the revelations of I believe it was in Futuh al-Ghaib, the revelations of the unseen. he was saying that being in this world as a dead body is in the hands of the mortician. When the mortician is washing the dead body, it's just there's no resistance because this is a dead body. So in this life, you have the ebb and flow in this life. Everything in the life is based on ebb and flow. If you just look at the solar system, the sun and moon have attracting powers on our planet. So the sun, everything is revolving around it. And in your own life, your sun is your mind. This is your predominant mental attitude. But your moon is your emotions. And the earth is your physical body. So your predominant mental attitude and your emotions have attracting powers on your physical body. And the moon, when it's a full moon, the tide is high. So you always have the rise and set of the tide. So you always have rise. You have high emotions. You have lower emotions. You have in between. So in being conscious of that, it's very important to be stoic in times of tragedies or different things. Where if you can apply being stoic, being able to accept, then you arise in levels of consciousness. Just like you have that the level of consciousness of Nafsi Mutima is the peaceful self. Regardless of what situation, alhamdulillah, all praises be to Allah. Regardless of what happens is you become a master of your attitude. And this is something that many people do not achieve in this lifetime. Very people who have high maqam, achieve this, especially with maqam radiyah, or the pleased self. When you're pleased with anything that happens in your life, whether it's good or bad, and you're pleased with it. This is very important. Very important. Radiyallahu anhum wa radu an. ذلك الفوز العظيم لله ملك السماوات والأرض وما فيهن وهو على كل شيء قدير. You being pleased with Allah and Allah being pleased with you, this is the greatest success. And this is a station, or this is a maqam. This is the predominant mental attitude. This is a state of being, and it is, inshallah, you can attain it. But this is the seed that has to constantly be watered through zikrullah wa fikrullah, through invoking, doing affirmations of Prime Source Creator, while fikrullah, while meditating on Prime Source Creator. There's signs within yourself and on the horizon. So this maqam radiyah, the pleased self, it's something to be meditated on. Not being emotionally unraveling at the sight of tragedy, and not becoming so overwhelmed in times of pleasure, because everything is an ebb and a flow. You see this every single lunar month with the changing of the moon. There's a new month. You don't see that in America, because the calendar is not based on anything. It's they say it's a solar calendar. It's not even based on the movements of the sun. But then you see it in the Islamic months. When we cite the new moon, subhanallah, alhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, you see this the crescent. It's a new moon. And then you see the crescent start growing until it gets to a certain point. Then you start to see that crescent waning until you get to a certain point. For 3 days, you don't see the moon at all in the new moon. And then boom, Allahu Akbar, you see the crescent again. So it teaches you about life. It teaches you about life, right? So moving on. He says, Sheikh Ibn al-Arabi, he says, an unmistakable sign of the heaviness that will prevent you from advancing is to be a burden on people. Neither be a freeloader nor let others carry your load. Particularly, don't accept goods and favors either for yourself or for others from people whose hearts are dead, submerged in the sleep of heedlessness. If what Allah permits you to gain as your sustenance in all your actions, behavior, and words, fear Allah. Do not seek comfort in luxury, especially when you have not worked hard for it. That's the trap that I've seen a lot of people from my community where I grew up at in Lakewood, New Jersey, seeking comfort in luxury or assumed luxuries when they haven't worked hard for it. And when we talk to anybody who's been in the world of the drug world, selling drugs, I remember in the 80s they had flooded, late 70s and in the early 80s they had flooded our communities with crack cocaine. And a lot of brothers fell into the trap of selling drugs. So literally they became oppressors in the community, but they didn't view it that way. Being that there was no opportunities for them, very limited, little if any. So they became into the culture of selling drugs. And then you seen people with many different vehicles. They was able to get places. They had a lot of money. So what they did was they gave themselves. They saw comfort and luxury, and they didn't work hard for it. So when they lost it, it was just like that. And then the prison time that they did was nothing in comparison. And like they did time in prison, they lost everything, and none of that money could save them. They lost all of it, and they ended up worse than what they started out. Had they worked a regular 9 to 5, they would have been way better off. So it's very important to not seek comfort in luxury, especially when you have not worked hard for it. He says lawful sustenance is obtained by working harder than is demanded of you. So you obtain risk by working harder than what is demanded of you. Muhammadan Abu Rijal Sheikh Ibrahim Afal, he said that he would feel ashamed in asking the Lord for something that he can work hard for. You know, that's a very important part. That Ibn Arabi makes. Lawful sustenance is obtained by working harder than is demanded of you. A clear sign of the lawfulness of one's gain is that it will not permit you to be either stingy or spendthrift. Take care, since if the love of this world takes root firmly in your heart, it constricts your heart, and it becomes exceedingly hard to pull it out and throw it away. So you got to be very careful. Take care. Since if the love of this world takes root firmly in your heart, it constricts your heart, and it becomes exceedingly hard to pull it out and throw it away. You see, the heart is a container. And if you don't fill it up with zikrullah, with fikrullah, maraqabah, wa tafakkur, if you don't fill up your heart with invoking your Lord, invoking supreme consciousness, invoking light, and meditating on the above, maraqabah, meditation with visualization and zikr and invocation, then other things will fill it up. The heart is a container. So if you're not filling up your cup, something, someone, something else is. So take caution. He says, this world is a trial ground. Don't seek comfort and riches in it. Now, he's not advising you not to have tranquility and not to be wealthy, but don't seek comfort and riches in it. as is mentioned in Al-Quran Kareem. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الناس. Say, I seek refuge with the Lord of mankind. Right? Malikin Nas, the sovereign of mankind. Ilahin Nas, the Allah of mankind. So you're not seeking refuge in mankind. And there's a lot of things, if you sick, don't sit there and pray. It says that the Al-Quran is Shifa. It's a healing, but don't sit there and just pray when you sick. Go to the doctor. If you're in a car accident, you're not gonna sit there. You got to be practical. But you're seeking Allah's light through His creation. But Allah and Allah's light is in the creation, but Allah's light is not the creation. He says, eat less. Eat less. Eat less. That will leave more space in your heart and will increase your desires to pray and be obedient. Sheikh Ahmad Ubamba said, eat less, sleep less, speak less. So this is a very important point, especially, in times of trial, it's best to fast because you clear your mind when you fast. And a lot of all chaos in your life comes from discordant thinking, wrong thinking. And as I was speaking about, when you eat, you break down something that is solid, it becomes a liquid and it turns into a gas, which is your thought. So thoughts of the mind affect the body. That's why they say you are what you eat. So when you eat less or when you fast, what happens is you're burning adipose tissue, which is fat. All toxins in the body is stored in your adipose tissue. So when you begin to fast, the toxins become released and they exit 3 different ways: through defecation, urination, or perspiration. So what happens is you let go of your burdens within. When the earth throws up its burdens from within, you see, your body starts to release. Your body starts to release these different toxins. So what your mind becomes very, very clear. Shukran Kathiran, brother. Your body, your mind becomes very clear. So the spiritual, the physical, psychological implications of fasting are many. Cleanse and beautify your days and nights with worship. He said, cleanse and beautify your days and night with worship. Meditate on it. The generous Lord asks you to His presence 5 times a day. Do your prayers at times He calls you, 5 times daily, and each prayer make an accounting of your actions since the last prayer. Muhasaba, to call yourself to account for your actions, is very important. When you driving, you notice that there is yield signs, that there is stop signs, that the stoplight has stop, slow down, and go. The 5 salatun is for you to take 5 times to meditate during the day. Not just meditation this is with your whole entire body. A zikr, an invocation with your whole entire body. And so many different things, so many different implications. Just if you just consider wudu, making wudu, and to wash your hands yourself up to the elbows, your whole forearm, to wash out your mouth, to rinse out your nose, to wash your face and put water on your head, and some people to clean the ears, right, and then to clean your feet. These are all major sensory outlets. The hands, the forearms, the mouth, to clean out your mouth, to clean out your nose, to cleaning your face, to washing your head and inside your ears, just to clean that 5 times a day alone. The health aspects are numerous. You'd be more healthy if you was to do that 5 times a day. Just that alone. Now, before that, make an intention and then doing that. Sheikh Ahmadu Bamba said, if you want to get the most out of your actions, beware of your attention before the action. Everything in this life is about intention. Energy follows thought. So if you put your thought and your intention, then what follows? What follows? You see? So, and this is where many people in life, they just are like a boat without oars. There's no way to navigate. There's no direction. Whichever way the billows blow is where they go. You see, and 95% of our day is governed by the subconscious mind, which is an automaton. The subconscious mind governs your heartbeat, your blood pressure, the regeneration of all the hairs in your body, the regeneration of your skin cells every 28 days, your breathing, your internal organ function. So also your behaviors. So if you're not, that means 95% of the time you're not even conscious. It's all subconscious. So you're only going to get out what you've been putting in. So this is very important to have a moment from Salatul Fajr, from about 5 in the morning, and you pray Fajr. And then not only that, when you're doing these motions, right? Energy is in the large intestine from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. This element is using the Chinese elements. This is the element of metal. Energy is in the intestine from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. And metal is the yin element. And it deals with like condensing. You see, so you setting this energy in motion through different, motions physically, and it's not, I'm not going to go into all of the baraka and the intimacies of Salat, because to make a Salah is mirage. To ascend through the 7 heavens, to make a Salat is to peer into the subatomic aspects of reality. So it's too much, it's a lot. That was like it's a whole subject unto itself. It's a whole subject into itself. But just it has infinite implications. Implications. Do your prayers at the times he calls you 5 times daily, and at each prayer make an accounting of your actions since the last prayer. It is to be hoped that only good deeds and actions benefiting a Muslim are done between the palms of prayer. So hopefully you was in tune with the laws of harmony when you come to that. And if not, do the istighfar. Seek forgiveness from your very aspect of your being and let go. Most people complain that this world, their work to secure their sustenance and their work as householders for their family take time away from their worship. Know that work done heedfully with consideration for others in accordance with proper behavior for the pleasure of Allah is also worship. So when you work, and that's all you bad, that's service. When you dealing with your wife, that's service, it's worship. When you dealing with your children, that's service, it's worship. When you doing it mindfulness, being in the moment, it's important. Allah has blessed you with intellect, knowledge, profession, strength, and health. All grace and power are due to Him. Use these to gather as much as your sustenance as possible in a minimal time. If possible, secure in one day a week's sustenance. If possible, secure in one day a week's sustenance. If possible, secure in one day a week's sustenance. Take the example of Ahmad al-Sabti, the prince of the son of Abbasid Khalif Harun al-Rashid. He used the maximum of his talents and strength and effort and worked exceedingly hard as a manual laborer on Saturday. With what he earned, in one day he was able to live a whole week. He dedicated the remaining 6 days of his week to worshiping Allah, to working for Allah and worshiping Him. So he was able to dedicate one whole day, one Saturday, to just work and obtain his sustenance for the other 6 days. And for the other 6 days, all he did was work for Allah and worship Allah. He said, after you perform your morning prayer, stay with your Lord until sunrise, and after your afternoon prayer, stay in His presence until sunset. These are 2 periods of time with spiritual powers and enlightenment flow in abundance. Keep your heart tied to Allah in humility and peace. May Allah reward Ibn al-Arabi abundantly. Ameen. Ya Rabbil Alameen. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please share this video. Please take time out for tafakkur, for meditation, for zikrullah. He who knows himself knows his Lord. Allah said, I am as my servant sees me. Meditate on that. Inshallah. Play the video back. I'll throw a watch party. It's time for du'as. It's time for reading. It's 2:28. It's time for me to get into my get-into. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس الله أكبر بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر الغاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد الله أكبر بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد الله أكبر بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألف لام ميم الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يؤوده حفظهما والعلي العظيم الله أكبر الله نور السماوات والأرض مثل نوره كمشكاة فيها مصباح المصباح في زجاجة الزجاجة كأنها كوكب دري يقال من شجرة مباركة زيتونة شرقية ولا غربية يكاد زيتها يضيء ولو لم تمسسه نار نور على نور نور على النور يهدي الله لنوره من يشاء ويضرب الله أمثالا للناس والله بكل شيء عليم الله أكبر بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يزال الوجود والبقاء والقدم يزال مخالفة لخلقه والقيام بالناس ووحدانيته لك القدرة والإرادة والعلم والخيال كما لك السمع والبصر والكلام أشكرك وإنك قدير مريد عالم الخيال وإنك سميعا بصيرا متكلما يا رب العالمين آمين آمين بارك استرين سالي وبارك 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 استرين سالي باركة برم جمان وباركة 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 برم جمان باركة إمام فعل. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.